Hi, hello. You're back with Mike Mason in the third prologue mini session of The Dead of Winter. And in this session, I'm joined with Gemma. Hi, Gemma.
Hi, Mike.
And so without further ado, Gemma, do you want to say a little bit about yourself and then go on to describe your character a little, please?
Sure. My name is Gemma Hewitt. I'm a costumer and a writer. Currently working on some exciting Call of Cthulhu things. That's pretty much what you need to know about me. Um, my character is living a far more exciting and glamorous life. Um, she is Georgina Sullivan, and she is a young sculptress. Um, she was at the Slade School of Fine Art, and she's been exploring different mediums from her Hampstead studio. She lives near Hampstead Heath, although her parents are down in Surrey. And yeah, she doesn't have an awful lot of stuff. She's mainly reliant on parents for money. But she's got, charcoals and paint and things like that. What more does a sculptor need?
Everything you need. But am I right in thinking that about a year ago there was a bit of tragedy involved in Georgina's
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, she's getting over a rather sad incident with her fiance. She was engaged to be married to the charming Robert Whitworth, who she had met at the Slade. And he went to a wild party. They had a big argument, and he stormed off and basically went to a wild party, had a wonderful time. Drugs were taken. And next thing she knew, there was a knocking at the door to say that death by misadventure had occurred. And that has, well, it devastated her, as it would. And she has very much retreated into herself and her art, and yeah, trying to get over that. So,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, right. We will skip ahead to this prologue. So it's 1929, and it's Tuesday, the 1st of October, and it's pretty late in the evening. I don't know. What do you think you've been doing today? Have you just been?
Probably in the studio,
Mhm.
kind of just getting bits of clay, kind of molding them, just fiddling as one
Okay.
does.
Okay. Well, you've had a day of doing that. You've come home, probably had something to eat, relaxed a little bit, and turned into bed. Um, and you're asleep. It's nighttime, and you're having a dream. And in the dream, it's quite vivid. You're dreaming of your fiance, Robert. It's kind of it's you're back in college, um, and you are, I think, probably just sat out in some kind of quad or outside bench somewhere in the springtime. The birds are tweeting, but there's a dark cloud comes over, and it suddenly starts to rain, and scattering students, into inside. Birds fly off. You two are kind of momentarily kind of just caught in the moment with yourselves and kind of don't really realize the rain until it's a bit too late. So you suddenly get really soaked into you're sort of scrambling quickly to get inside. And the dream, so it's all very pleasant and nice, and it starts to drift. And at that point, you hear a kettle whistling quite loudly, and you realise as you wake, it's whistling in your. Is it a house or apartment?
It's a little flat.
In a little
Yes,
flat.
yes,
You
little
hear
flat.
it's you hear the kettle whistling in the little kind of kitchenette that's in the flat, and you realise it's that must have woken you.
that's a little bit close for comfort, because I imagine that kind of it's almost like a little flatty bed sit, so it's quite
Yeah,
open
I kind of,
plan.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
I'm kind of guessing that the kitchen area is probably not is separate to the bedroom. Maybe
Okay.
you've got like
Yeah.
three small rooms as it were, but yeah, probably just this tiny little kitchen, kind of just outside the bedroom.
Okay. Well, that's alarming. I am not expecting anyone. As far as I kind of in my bleary state can recall, I locked the door thoroughly. Um, However, a girl living by herself um, always has a poker handy, obviously, just in case, yeah, just a little bit jumpy, maybe. So I'm going to kind of pick up, yeah, a poker or a golf club or something sort of fairly
You,
hard.
you've probably got an open fireplace in the bedroom,
Yeah.
so I'm sure you'll have an iron poker handy.
I'm going to creep quietly in my lovely pajamas and grab the poker. I
Okay.
mean, if it was a burglar, I'm kind of thinking all this stuff through, and I'm going like, okay, if it was a burglar, why would they be using the kettle? That's a bit weird. It's not likely to be my parents, who are the only people who really have keys. Um, or maybe it is. I've got the poker. I'm going to investigate.
Okay, so you kind of gingerly creep out the bedroom into the very short hallway that leads to the little kind of kitchen area, for want of a better word. Um, and very quickly you see that there is a man stood in the kitchen, uh, lifting the kettle as it whistles off the stove. It's an immediate shock because the figure is none other than Robert Whitworth, stood there lifting the kettle and kind of turns so you see his face as as you approach. Could I have a sanity roll, please?
Yes, you can. Okay, right. Right. So here we go. Sanity is currently 65. And
Okay.
I've managed to roll a 23.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're going to lose 1 point
Okay.
because it's a bit of a shock. Um,
Just a
and
little.
how does that come out? Is that like a shriek, a gasp, drop the
Yeah,
poker, or
definitely a drop the poker and yeah, an expletive probably of
okay,
suitably ladylike proportions or art
okay.
student proportions, which are usually rather more fruity.
um, the poker being iron obviously makes a bit of a sound when it hits the floor, which a moment you're kind of gasping and dropping the poker, next minute a clang on the floor, and or kind of wakes you up almost, fully awake now,
Yeah.
and you blink, and Robert is now standing right in front of you, having put the kettle down, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I wake you? Were you asleep?"
I think I'm kind of a bit speechless. I'm just going to be like, you're alive.
What
You're
do you mean
alive.
what do you mean I'm alive? Of course I'm alive.
But I saw you. I went to your funeral
What do you mean funeral? Uh, I've been here with you, haven't I?
a year ago. I'm gonna prod him. I'm still like not quite. Am I still dreaming? I mean, I don't think I'm dreaming, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, you prod him,
Yeah.
and he's tangibly there. In fact, he kind of like he says, what this nonsense? And he kind of gives you a hug. Gives you a hug, and he's feels like him, smells like him, um, and he kind of lets you go as you kind of obviously still uncertain and not fully committing perhaps. And he says, "Is something wrong? Have I done something wrong?"
I'm going to be slightly hysterical at this point, just kind of going kind of in that. I just you can't be alive. You went to the party and you died, and I've been all by myself, and I just breaks down into tears, and yeah, it's all just too much, too much.
He sort of stands there sort of quiet for a moment, kind of watching you, kind of taking it in, and you get you know your sixth sense kind of goes off. You get this feeling that he's growing tense, as you know you're tense, he's growing tense, and he just sort of comes out and says, "Oh, that's typical. That's typical." You're getting all emotional again when we're trying to have a conversation, and instantly you seem to be back in the argument you had just a day before. You know, you last saw him when he the day before he died. You know, at the party, but it just seems to be kind of like as if the argument is starting over again, and you feel the kind of this confliction of emotions of loss, grief, shock, but also this kind of anger where you're like, why are you bringing that up again? Kind of sense. Is there anything particularly you want to say, or is it just kind of like, no, ah!
I'm gonna carry on kind of sobbing and just be like, just stop. This is I don't want to fight, but this is ridiculous. This isn't real.
So I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand you, and I don't understand this. Everything was fine until till the argument started, and I don't know. I feel like I'm wading in water. It's just crazy. And he turns back into the kitchen starts like messing around with the kettle and the cup of tea is supposed to be making, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's just really kind of ranting at himself and everything. And you're kind of stood in the doorway corridor, and he's kind of ignoring you, I guess, at this point in time. Well, is there anything you want to do or say at this point?
Do I have like a diary or something that might have been given me by Christmas that's got like that year on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can I kind of, because I just can't. I'm so confused. The only thing I can think of is to prove to him that it's this year, not last
Last
year.
year. Yeah.
If
Well,
that makes
I guess
sense.
it'd be back in the bedroom living area, so
Yeah,
you can turn around and go and grab that if you like. Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to do that.
Okay. So you turn around, you look around, it's over there. You grab it, you kind of run back towards the kitchen, and as you turn into the hall, you see that he's not there. You sort of go into the kitchen, no sign. The kettle is steaming. The cup that he had been fiddling around with is half full of, some tea in it, is stewing, but he's not there. So you check the bathroom, no one there. Obviously, he can't have gone past you, but just in case, you kind of go back to the
Yeah.
bedroom, look around, no sign at all.
Okay. Now, yeah. I'm just going to completely burst into tears again. Again.
Okay, so
It's just,
it's all
it's too
flooding
much.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yes, all
Yeah.
flooding back.
Yeah. All
Well,
that loss.
perhaps maybe after a little bit of a sob, you maybe go and rebrew that kettle and have a cup of tea or
Yeah.
something, sort of
Yeah.
calm down, and eventually, there's no more sight, sound, or anything of strangeness going on. You perhaps get back into bed and settle back down, and happily, the night, you have a relatively peaceful night's sleep, and the following day, everything's normal. And you get back to your studio, and sort of throw yourself into some work perhaps, but every now and again, the events of the night before sort of drift into your head, and it's still just, I guess, perplexing and somewhat emotional, and but happily, next 2 or 3 days pass and the memory fades a little. Still comes back once in a while. He's still kind of like puzzling over it, I guess. And then it comes to Saturday, the October the 8th. Um, sorry, no, Sunday. Now, sorry, I've just realised something that's wrong. But that's we're just going to say Sunday, October the 9th. This is what's good about a playtest, you see, listeners and viewers. We spot things that are wrong. So October the 9th, which is a Sunday. It's probably going to really be a Monday, but it's a Sunday, we'll call it. And you, before you leave that day, you get a letter through the first post. Slightly unusual because it's got a Russian stamp and postmark on it, which is slightly intriguing because I think you know anyone in Russia, do you?
No, I don't know anyone in Russia.
Okay.
I speak an assortment of languages, but Russia is not somewhere I've ever actually been.
Um, it's me who's made the mistake. I've jumped ahead too far. That does happen on Monday the 10th, but we're going to
Okay.
backtrack. This is wonderful. This is what role playing is all about. We're going to backtrack to the Sunday.
Okay, so
So
we're going
this,
previous.
yeah. So Sunday, just so rather than the Monday morning when you got into the studio,
Yeah,
it's Sunday evening. Sorry,
cool.
and yeah, you had the visit 3 days ago, and it started to fade a little bit. Sunday evening, and you are back in the flat, and you hear you hear some water running. This time in the bathroom, like the tap, maybe the tap on the sink. And again, it's a bit you're instantly kind of on edge because it's very reminiscent of the other night.
Yeah, I'm going to rush straight in because I've been thinking, and I'm thinking, well, maybe. I mean, I know ghosts. You're not meant to be able to touch them. You know, kind of traditional law would have that ghosts are sort of smoky apparitions, but maybe they're not. Maybe he was like I don't know, a manifestation or something. I'm fairly open-minded, you know, as an artist to such things. So I'm just hoping that maybe it is him and he's back. So I'm going to run into the bathroom.
Okay, you run in, and indeed, Robert is at the bathroom sink. The water is coming out of both taps, and he's kind of washing his hands quite vigorously.
Yeah.
Um, uh, what he's not. You probably get a bead on him in terms of if you want to say or act first, you probably get a chance to do that.
I'm just going to run over and fling my arms around him and just go, don't go again, please.
Okay, he
Please
sort of
stay.
he turns round and embraces you, perhaps gives you a kiss, and says, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I feel like it feels like I've been treading water. It feels like I've been encased in like in a sea or a pool or a lake or something. I feel, but now I'm out. I feel like I'm out, and I can breathe, and I can see and touch you, and I'm back here. But but what's been troubling me is you said I died. What? Tell me how did I die?
Okay, I'm not going to take my eyes off him for a second now. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold him and I'm gonna lead him kind of back into the lounge where we can just sit on the sofa and have a proper
Yeah.
conversation. I mean, I'm almost scared to blink now in case he disappears again. Um, and I shall recount the events of
Okay.
us having a big argument, him storming out. Um, the reports I had about him being at the party and so on, and kind of and yeah, and
Yeah.
funerals and what have you.
Okay. He sort of takes that all in. He listens. You know, occasionally asks a few questions like, you know, well, who was at my funeral? Was Woody and Alison there, or whatever it may be? And you know, he's very interested in who was at the party, but which is a little more difficult because you weren't there. So,
Uh,
but he asks some pertinent questions that again kind of like conveys this sort of sense that this really does seem like, Robert. Um, and After kind of going through all of that and sort of catching up a little bit, he says that, well, if I died, how can I be here?
Well, exactly. I mean, do you not remember? Does it feel like it was just yesterday that do you remember going to the party?
I
What's your last thought?
I I can't. I remember arguing. I
Okay.
remember. I think I remember the party. It's a little vague now, but I also remember being somewhere else. Perhaps afterwards, it, I felt I was somewhere else, and perhaps where I was meant to be, where I am meant to be. Perhaps I'm not sure if I should be here. What do you think I should be here?
Well, yes and no. I don't want you to go, but not if you're dead. You probably shouldn't be here, but I don't
I,
I don't want you to not be dead.
I'm I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm the person I remember. I mean, I have memories, but but I don't remember being anywhere. Although I kind of think I was. It's all very strange. I I don't know what's happening. How could this be?
Well, I think maybe we ought to go and see if we can talk to someone. Maybe we should go to the doctor
Maybe I
and
mean,
just see if
I
he
don't want
can.
anyone to change. I don't want anyone to interfere and change it if we've been given this chance. I mean, I'm just so happy to be here with you. It's I can't describe. And it and the kind of conversation goes on like that for a little bit, and at some point, you know, you will break eye contact at some
Yeah,
point later on, perhaps, because you are quite keeping an eye on the situation. It's quite engaging the conversation, obviously. But at one point, just when you've kind of let your guard down a little bit and just kind of easing in and thinking, he stayed longer than last time, and
right.
then
We can
maybe
maybe
this
have
is
a cup of
working.
tea.
And yeah, and you blink and he's just not there. But again, anything, the cup of tea you made him earlier or whatever it
Yeah,
is clearly there. Clearly he has been here or something has been here and moved things around and there are remnants of his visitors as it were. Um, and as you kind of sit and kind of again get this kind of rush of conflicting emotions, is when you would make a sanity roll.
oh, here we go. Okay. So here's our next sanity roll, which is 49.
So success again. So that's another point. So it's 2 points in total. But again, it's that kind of, I think, because you're on your own, it's that kind of, it's almost that kind of exasperated cry of, oh, what is going on? You try and lock
Yeah,
yourself into sense with it. Are you imagining it? You can't be imagining it, surely, because things have moved but this is, very strange. And, you spend the rest of the night kind of again deep in thought about all this and the various emotions that it's bringing up for you, um, and eventually you go to bed, and again reasonably good night's sleep, but maybe you do dream of Robert again, but again it's like an old dream. It's not like a continuation or anything. It's just a memory, I guess. And you wake in the morning on the 10th of October, and this letter from Russia arrives that you didn't know was coming. So the letter from Russia, I will put the transcript on our little shared group so you can read it legibly. I'll give you the highlights now.
Okay.
It says, "Dear Madam, you do not know me nor I you, but I badly need your help. My name is Nadezhda Panova. I'm going to get the name right at some point, or Nadezhda Palliser. John Palliser is my husband. He's British. He's working for the Soviet government as an engineer, and I think that his new role on the Belomor Canal may put him in danger in several ways. John cannot write this, so I do." You're thinking to yourself, what has this got to
Oh.
do with me? It goes on to say, "John and I see the loved dead. I think you do as well. A man here knows of this, and it was he that gave me your name and those of a few others. He knows we all see them. He says he will talk to us about this. I know no more than you about that, but I think we have to work together. Help each other with our heads. This is very severe to me. I know you can agree. It is a great request, I know, but you must come here to me. Please come on the ship that leaves London Bridge on October the 27th to join this tour. And when you reach Moscow, come to me at my address above as soon as you can. With great respect, Nazda Palliser." And including in the letter is a tour itinerary for a tour of Russia, written in English, that is included with the letter. And indeed, there is a ship departing on this tour on the 27th of October. But that is everything in the letter.
Well, that's quite a lot, really, isn't
It
it? I
is.
mean,
Now,
I'm quite relieved that others seem to be nutters as well, but it's not really doing much to kind of answer or, yeah.
no, absolutely. I mean, being a Monday, I guess you read the letter, pretty nonplussed by it, and head off to the studio, I guess, um, thinking it, but I don't get it.
I
Um,
can't just go to Russia. Who just goes to Russia? I mean,
exactly.
I've got
Um,
exhibitions and dinner with the parents.
and you throw yourself into your work trying to, but obviously, thoughts of Robert, thoughts of this Russian woman, writing you out the blue, kind of, fill your mind for most of the morning. Then the third post is delivered to your studio, or it might be that when you get home, the letter say it doesn't really matter either way. But you do get a second letter. This time it's got an English postmark and it's London. You open the letter and it says it's from the Foreign Office on Downing Street, dated today, 10th of October. Um, Dear Ms. Sullivan, I'm writing to you on behalf of the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs to seek your attendance this evening at St Ermin's Hotel, Caxton Street, Westminster. My apologies for the very short notice and also for the no doubt unexpected arrival of this request. I thank you in advance for your assistance as this matter is of some urgency and importance. If you could arrive at 7 p.m., please ask at the desk from my representative, Mr. Weston. Yours sincerely, Walford Selby, Private Secretary.
Well, that's lovely. Poor Georgine is so confused right now. She has no idea what to make of any of this. And I mean, the path of least resistance is just, okay, well, here's something concrete that I can do.
It's from the Home
So
Office. I mean,
it is from the Home Office. And I mean, it might be that they want to buy an amazing piece of civic art, that it's going to be a really lucrative commission. I mean, I have no idea what it's about. Um, maybe favourite uncles left me some money. I mean, who knows? So it's definitely worth going to check it out. I mean, a little bit of me is going, is it something to do with these other weird Russians? Maybe, who knows? But it might not be. So, yeah, well,
Very good.
I shall
Well,
go.
we will draw the this little prologue scene to an end at this point, and we will pick it up, when the game officially starts. Thanks very much. Thanks
Thank
very much
you.
for playing, and I'll see you again soon, Gemma. Thanks again.
Cheers.
Bye for now.